Hey guys, Annie here. Welcome back to My Mint Life. And today I'm going to take you all on a little trip back to 1979. No, not that one, the real one. That's right, ladies. We are talking Jean Naté, Virginia Slim cigarettes, and All My Children on the Television. Hello, Susan Lucci. Because today I'm going to be sharing with you some of my grandma's best tips and tricks for home care. Let's get started. Now, most of the time when we think about our grannies back in the day, we tend to picture the 50s. But my gran was a teenager in the 1950s, and her housewife heyday was definitely the 60s and 70s. But anyhow, I picked the 1970s to focus on kind of the vibe for the video, not only because my granny was my age in 1979, but because it was her last year just as a mom. She became a granny the next year in 1980 with the arrival of my sister. But anyhow, let's hop to my granny's best tips and tricks for home care. Now, the first tip I'm going to share with you is all about glassware, particularly narrow glassware. If you've ever had to wash anything like this or this, which these are kind of popular right now, you know that they are a pill to dry, especially if you leave them on the counter like we normally do, stuff we like to air dry, upside down on a dish towel. This takes days and days. So to speed up that process, what you're going to want to do is grab a roll of paper towels, because remember it's the 70s and we don't really care about trees all that much yet. Just kidding. Or you could even use the tea towel, give it a nice long twist so that it's long and narrow to fit through whatever opening that you have. You're going to place it directly into your glass vessel and leave it on the counter to dry. In no time, the paper towel will have absorbed all of the moisture. It will be completely dry on the inside, and you won't have to look at that glass vase on the counter for 3 days waiting for it to dry. This will help you out. My next tip, I'm not actually going to demonstrate just because it's kind of wasteful to demonstrate, and that involves cleaning up raw egg. Now, we've all done it. We've dropped an egg on the floor. We've got an egg white on the counter. It's actually really, really slimy, and dish towels, paper towels, things like that, they don't really absorb the raw egg very well. So what you want to do is take some regular table salt, just regular plain old salt. You're going to sprinkle it generously all over the mess, let it sit for a couple of minutes, and in no time flat, you'll be able to clean that up like that. Super simple, easy, kind of economical, and comes in handy for cleaning up a difficult mess. Now, the next tip I'm going to share with you is actually one that I've talked about on my channel before and actually inspired this video. P.S. Thank you to the La Familia Rosa channel for actually suggesting making a video all about my granny's best tips and tricks. It was an insanely good idea. Kind of jealous I didn't think it up myself. But again, thank you, and I will have her link down below. Anyhow, back to the tip. This one is all about using Dawn dish soap, regular good old-fashioned Dawn dish soap, to treat oil stains in the laundry. In fact, this bottle right here doesn't even sit in my kitchen at all. It stays in my laundry room. I only use Dawn to pre-treat my clothes. It is a great tip for the laundry. And in fact, if you also have some powdered laundry detergent, you can actually make a little bit of a paste and treat the stains. They come out no problem. Even if they've gone through the wash and the dryer with the oil stain intact, you can still pre-treat this next time and it'll get it out. This is still an amazing trick that I've used over and over again. In fact, one of my first videos was a laundry hacks video, and I talked about how my husband in our early days of marriage was kind of notorious for leaving his chapstick in the pockets of his pants and then having it run through the dryer. An entire tube of chapstick all over an entire load of laundry. It was such a pain. He did it maybe 3 times. He hasn't done it in about a decade, which is nice. But I just used regular old Dawn dish soap, treated the entire load. No trace of grease whatsoever. So this is actually one of my favorite tricks that she taught me. My next tip is actually a kitchen tip. We've all chopped raw garlic, and you know that that scent tends to linger on your fingers. It's kind of unpleasant, really noticeable. So what you're gonna wanna do is take any piece of ordinary stainless steel in your house, and you're going to actually rub your hands against it while you're washing them. I grab a little bit of soap, put my hands under the faucet, rub against the stainless steel, and it completely eliminates the odor. If you want to go the extra mile, they do actually sell little discs of stainless steel specifically for this reason. If you wanted to kind of go the extra mile and maybe you chop garlic a lot and it can be useful for you. But honestly, I have used knives, I've used pot lids, I've used pots themselves. Rub it against the stainless steel and you will not have a trace of garlic scent left on your fingers. A few more home care tips to share with you from my granny is to use pantyhose to clean pillar candles. They can be kind of difficult to wipe down. If you rub a pair of pantyhose against it, the dust comes off in a snap. I've gotten, I don't know how many phone calls. I have footsteps running and I have a kid who won't stop yelling at video games. See? It's hot, but it's like major earthquake weather here in SoCal, and what are you gonna do? Another tip she had was to use plain old-fashioned toothpaste to polish your silver. Another tip that I got from my granny is to use Joy dishwashing liquid to wash your windows. This is a dish soap. It's a little bit tricky to find. You can find it on Amazon, and sadly now, probably because it's still kind of vintagey, it's a little bit more pricey than it used to be. But it is a dish soap that is designed to dry without leaving spots, so it's perfect for washing windows. Another thing that she did for washing windows was to actually use a really soft broom. It's just easier than a rag. You're able to scrub. It doesn't actually scratch your windows. I've never found it, and I've done it in every house I've ever lived in. And it just makes the job a little bit easier, especially if you're short and you have high windows. Obviously, this isn't going to work for a 2-story house. So if you have a 1-story house and you need to wash some windows, Joy dish soap and a broom is the way to go. Well guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you got some valuable tips and tricks to try out to make your home care life a little bit easier. Once again, thank you to the La Familia Rosa channel for suggesting this video. This was such a great idea, and it was a really nice way to kind of pay homage to my grandma Mary, the woman who inspired this video. She passed away in 2017. We miss her dearly. She was a woman who kept an immaculate home. This was a woman who taught me how to thread a needle, to crochet. She taught me that the eyes on potatoes were toxic to human beings. And she just shared a lot of wisdom over the years that I really appreciate, especially now as a wife and a mom. And it was wonderful to kind of make a video that was inspired by someone who was so important to me. And if you are a YouTuber who makes home care videos and this video inspires you to make one of your own about your mom's or your grandma's favorite home care tips, I highly recommend it. Moms and grandmas, they have wisdom that needs to be passed down over the generations and kind of needs to be preserved too, I would say. And it's just a nice way to honor them and all of the hard work that they did to raise us. And honestly, to pass on some really good information. As always, please be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I will see you back in 2020 in the next video. Bye for now.